Oh my God! Don't even lie. At the. Hey, Terry. Here it is.
Good afternoon. This is Scott Tyson with Bob Baster. We're at Hockey-Kecoughtan High School today for a very important field hockey match. Today we'll have Woodside, the Wolverines, visiting the Hockey-Kecoughtan Warriors. Woodside is 4-1 on the year. Hockey-Kecoughtan 5-0. This game, if Woodside were to win, would put a three-way tie at the top of the standings with Gloucester, Hockey-Kecoughtan, and Woodside. If Hockey-Kecoughtan is to win, that would keep them undefeated and put them probably in a real good position to win the district. I'm alongside Bob Baster. Bob, how are you today?
Just fine. Looks like a beautiful day for field hockey, Scotty.
It's awesome. It's actually quite warm for October, but our girls have been in a real good conditioning program all year long. Both teams play pretty much year-round, so they'll be in shape and excited about being out here when there's no rain and no chance of it.
Well, let's talk about why they're in such good shape. You've been conditioning for quite a few months now, isn't that true?
Actually, Mandy Cobb, one of our captains, her mother and grandfather start conditioning these girls for us in late June, and they go 3 days a week. 2 days a week they do a lot of conditioning, and the other day they go out to the park and canoe and do paddle boats and things like that, things that are fun. They went skate, rollerblading and stuff this year, so good team building, but more important, they come in shape, and because they're in shape, we can work on nothing but hockey once we start.
And when did practice begin?
Practice actually starts the first week in August for field hockey, and you've got to do your tryouts have to be done quickly, and then we get rolling, and then you have 2 weeks for your first match.
Yeah, it looks like the Hockey-Kecoughtan field is in very good shape for today's match.
Fabulous shape, actually. Jeff Johnson is one of the fathers of our JV players, and he comes out and mows this field and works real hard to keep it in great shape, and we're real appreciative of that. And our managers, Crystal and Nikki, do all the lining of the field for us, and we can't thank them enough for that.
Yeah, it looks like we've got a nice crowd assembling for today's match.
Yeah, it'll build. That fence will be covered by the time it's over. There are the Bowens and the Fields and Mrs. Giles. There's Heather Stoller's grand. Our parents are extremely supportive at Hockey-Kecoughtan, and Woodside brought a ton of people. They're on the other side. I don't know if we'll pan to that or not, but they've got a ton of people here also.
And I think while this match is going on over at the tennis courts, the Woodside tennis team is playing the Hockey-Kecoughtan tennis team for the district championship as well.
Yeah, those two teams are both having great seasons. Coach Sapp has the tennis team rocking. They're undefeated, as were the boys at Hockey-Kecoughtan spring, and with a win today, they end up in first place for the first time, I believe, since the 70s, and they'll stay at home for the regional match against Beach's #2 team, which will probably be Cox or First Colonial.
Now, as we start the match, why don't you explain the setup that Hockey-Kecoughtan's going to be using today?
Hockey-Kecoughtan uses what we call a 2W system. We use 3 forwards, 2 midfielders, 3 links, and then 2 backs. So it looks like 2 W's if you were to draw it out, and what it does is it gives an awful lot of support to every player, no matter where the ball is. There's a player up in front of her to the right and left, and there's also somebody next to her and behind her. And it's worked real well. We weren't able to do this in the past, I didn't think, because we didn't have quite as much speed and depth as we have, and this year Hockey-Kecoughtan's really got 16 real solid players that can play any position, and we've yet to find a team that can run with us.
And how many players are on the Hockey-Kecoughtan team?
We have 19, 2 goalies and 17 field players. And Woodside has, I believe, 19 as well. So a lot of people stay active in this. Our JV is full, and Woodside's JV, I believe, has 22 or 24. So field hockey provides a lot of time and keeps a lot of girls busy. There's Natalie Bowen ripping up the right side, pretty pass to the middle. That's Katie O'Brien working her way through, or Kelly Messina, excuse me, working her way through. Little standoff. Katie keeps working it. They go to the outside. That's Chelsea Hicks for Woodside, a very good player in the district. Bowen will work on her.
Now, Chelsea Hicks was featured in the Daily Press recently, wasn't she?
Yeah, she's a real good player, and she's a young player. She's only a junior, and she was fortunate, talented enough to make it to the national tournament for the Futures program, and from there she was selected to go on to the Junior Olympics, and in the Junior Olympics she was selected to be in the Futures Elite program, which is less than 100 girls nationwide do that. So she's got a good future ahead, and she's got to be a big part of this Woodside team. I haven't seen her play. She works in the off season with a lot of players from Kecoughtan. This is a penalty corner, Bob. First one of the game for Woodside. Kecoughtan starting out a bit slowly.
Now, Scotty, for the 99% of the people out there who don't understand field hockey rules, how about if you explain a penalty corner?
Penalty corner, the defensive team's only allowed to have 5 people back. That's 4, and then, of course, the goalie. That makes the 5. And the offensive team can use as many players as they want around that circle. The ball's placed on the end line, 10 yards from the goal post. There they have to send it out where it has to be controlled. They can't just one-time a shot. The girl has to control it before the first shot is taken on cage.
And this is the type of play, I assume, that you practice so you have a set play.
Absolutely. I think one of the keys to Kecoughtan's success this year is that they've been very, very effective on their corners. The last time we were able to be that effective was when we had Jessica Morris, who led the state in scoring, and she scored about 50% of her goals off penalty corners. You have a big numerical advantage over these other teams when you do that, and you also, like you said, have a set play, and you know what's going on, and the defenders don't. So it's key to have a good one working.
And I assume that having a level field, and Kecoughtan certainly working towards that, helps you on a penalty corner. Oh,
absolutely. We were fortunate even to play at the Olympic Training Center earlier this year on turf, and that's obviously even better. You get such a true roll, and the ball comes out fast. The key to these corners is the person inserting the ball, and the fact that you can't afford a bad bounce makes it tough. Or you have to have a real good stopper, and ours is Mandy Cobb on one side, and Patty Eubank does the other, and both of them are very, very good at what they do.
Now, what type of strategy, as we watch this match, is Kecoughtan employing on the attack so far?
Basically on the attack, we're trying to work the ball deep into the corners if we can, and try to isolate down there and get them 2-on-1. We take that W that we have, and the front line, the 3 girls up front. Diana Golden's the center forward, and she's just having a tremendous year. And what she'll do is try to swing over to the corner so that she and the wing can 2-on-1 the outside back. And then where we go from there, if we lose the ball, is to try to always force them to the left. You'll see Chelsea Hicks have the ball a lot on this left sideline. It's very difficult in hockey. Every stick is right-handed. You can't switch and be a left-handed player. So if we can force them to our right and then double team them on the sidelines, it's very difficult for any player, even one as good as Chelsea, to get the ball from there. So you'll see us play a lot on the right side, and what that does is it forces them, when they get the ball, to be on our right side, where they'll have a lot of trouble breaking out, as you see them having right now.
Now, I assume as Kecoughtan comes down the right here that it's important to have a person standing over at the far post of the box.
Oh, absolutely, and we've got some terrific wings that have done that for us all year long. Karen Langel's outstanding. I wouldn't be surprised if she scores one today off of that post. She usually gets one of every game. She's got 6 goals this year, and she's just beautifully positioned. Jennifer Tobin and Heather Stollard play on the right side, and they too are usually on the post. This is Kelly Messina playing wing now with a great cross into the circle. Oh, and a close miss there by looked to be Diana Golden. Kelly has been playing some mid and some posting. Kelly last year was one of our leading scorers, and she did it by being on that left post, just as you say. It's real similar to soccer. You play the right position, be patient, the ball will come. This is a long hit, Bob. If the ball goes over the end line, it's placed 5 yards up on the sideline, and the offense hits it in from there. If it goes over the end line, off a defensive stick. If it goes off the offensive player's stick, it's called a 16-yard hit. They bring it out 16 yards from the end line and send it from there.
Now, Woodside's having a great deal of trouble clearing.
Yeah, they are. Their defense looks good, but again, I've never had any kind of speed like we have on our front line. We've got 3 girls up there that can run the 40 in 5 seconds, and they just get to the ball so quickly, and our midfielders double team, and we try to force that ball to our strong side, our right side, and it's been effective. This is Patty Eubank at the top of the circle. Little tap forward. Katie O'Brien sent it out to her. She's got remarkable stick work. There's another good work by O'Brien, earning another penalty corner. Once you get the penalty corners, if you don't score, but you can continue to do this, you'll see how effective it is at wearing the opponent out. The Woodside girls, other than the 4 at the cage, have to go back to the 50 every single time and then come back in. Here's Eubank again from the top of the circle. A great shot. This one gets lodged in the goalie's pads. It looks like she pulls it out with her hand. Now, if that would have just stayed in her pads, that would have been a penalty corner. Once she reaches and covers the ball with her hand, they call a penalty stroke. Penalty stroke real similar, Bob, to a PK in soccer, but not nearly as often is this called. They'll take all the girls and separate them, just like they do on a penalty kick in soccer. Katie O'Brien will take this one. She's tremendous at having a goalie look to their left, and then she sends that ball over their right shoulder, and she's phenomenal in practice at this. This is her first one of the year, though, so.
Now, to quickly go over the rules on this, does the keeper have to stay on her line until the ball is touched?
Yes, the keeper stays on her line until it's touched, and the shooter has to keep both feet behind the ball until they take one step as they shoot. You can only take one. She'll be going to the keeper's right, I'm sure. Ooh, good shot, big save. Normally she gets that ball up a few feet, and that one just stayed on the ground, but it was still a good shot. Great save by the goaltender. That's Quinn Sickles. She's a senior goalie. She also plays soccer for Woodside, and she's the defensive captain for Coach Reagan Pimlett.
Now, in soccer, as you mentioned, on a penalty kick, you should score the vast majority of the time. Is that also true here in field hockey?
Actually, at the next level, I think it is. At this level, it's getting to be where it's about a 50-50. Because they're so infrequently used, they're never really even practiced in JV because you never get them in the junior varsity level. Varsity, you'll get them if you go to tournaments and you're tied in overtime, something like that. But because they're not used, the shooters aren't ready yet to do that. But once you get up to college, they put them in the corners where the keepers can't reach them. Hockey-Kecoughtan has got some real good girls that stroke real well, but we haven't had too many opportunities yet to show it off.
Now, Hockey-Kecoughtan's maintaining possession here very well, and as I said earlier, Woodside's having a hard time clearing. What are you seeing out there that's keeping Hockey-Kecoughtan with the ball in their end?
Bristol Bowman and Katie O'Brien are tremendous midfielders. They get the ball and they immediately send the ball left or right. There's Lauren Hebert. She plays the middle in the far back, and she's as quick as they come. First few steps, she just jumps on balls. And as you see, we really don't play with it much. Katie's going to take the ball and make one or two quick moves and then send the ball outside. She's a tremendous soccer player with field vision that she's carried over to field hockey, and she can definitely play at the next level. Bristol Bowman will play in college next year, as will Lauren Hebert.
I know from seeing a number of matches this year that your midfield has great confidence in the defenders, and they're able to push forward because of that. How about talking about Mandy Cobb in particular?
Mandy Cobb is just outstanding, and she's just a great feeder of the ball and anticipator of what's going to happen. And she plays today alongside Emily Shewart, who does a fabulous job back there as well. And hopefully we won't see them too much because that'll mean the ball's in Hockey-Kecoughtan's end. But when you do see them, they'll get the ball, stop the ball very sure-handedly, and they'll immediately break to the outside. They carry the ball a certain distance just to clear them from the other opposition, and then immediately dish. And Mandy Cobb this year has, I think, yet to really raise a ball. I'll say that, and she'll probably do it today. But her hits are solid and low, and she hits the ball to space, and I couldn't ask for more. She was second team All-Eastern Region last year, and I truly believe she'll be first team Eastern Region again this year.
Well, I know that Mandy's a confident player because several times this season I've seen her pass it across the field, across the goal face to Bristol Bowman a couple of times, which is highly confident.
Yeah, it used to be something we didn't allow, but they're all doing so well that I tell them just be careful, and if it's there, give it. And there's a lot of trust with these girls, and I trust that their judgment is good. And usually when they send that across the goal mouth, they send it with a decent amount of power, so that if they do miss, it's going to the sidelines rather than dying in front of the cage. But our goaltenders, if they get a breakaway, are playing as well as any I've ever had, I think. There's 10 shutouts so far this year. Ashley Whipple, a freshman, and Carol Santos, a junior, split every game. I would be real hard-pressed to choose which one I had to play if I had to make a choice. I love playing them both. They both play aggressive hockey, and they'll make the saves today that they have to. There's a raised ball, Bob. Sometimes it gets a little tough in the grass, and Hebert will try to return. And she returns it raised again, and now we'll go back and forth with a little ping pong here. They don't mean to do it, although it looks like they were aiming at each other.
What's the level of raised ball?
Actually, the call on a raised ball is an intent call. If you're trying to raise the ball with a flick or a scoop, similar to a wrist shot in hockey, then there's really that you can go as high as you want, so long as it's not dangerous. Ooh, tough play right there. That's Chelsea Hicks down the sideline. Natalie Bowen, who's never ever quit on a ball, runs her down and runs her over unintentionally. There's that quick ball from Stewart we were talking about, outside the circle, right to Bowen. Katie O'Brien with one quick move and then a release. A beautiful pass down the right wing to Kelly Messina. That's what you call breaking the ball out real well. And now we go up to our speedy forwards and let them run the show. There's Diana Golden, who leads the team with 15 goals this year. Tremendous player with great stick skills in the circle. She's just quick to release, doesn't mess around, gets the ball and goes. Karen Langeau playing some defense there. She's the left wing today. She too is just having a great year up there.
Now, you mentioned Kecoughtan's district record. What is the overall record for the season?
Overall record for the season is 12-0, and among those wins are some real big ones. This year we beat Tallwood on the Olympic field, and Tallwood at the time was ranked #1 in Southampton Roads. The Virginia Pilot ranks their teams, and they were ranked #1, so that was a huge win, a big confidence builder for us. Later in the season we went to Maury High School. We like to play our big games on the road. We went to Maury High School and played them, and they were ranked #5 in the Daily Press, or in the Virginia Pilot, and we beat them 4-2. So some good wins. We beat Lakeland and won the Nansemond River tournament this year, all shutouts. So they're just playing well. There's a beautiful pass from Bowman to Langell, and Langell will try to beat somebody into the circle. Sends it back outside to Bowman. Watch Bowman. Bowman can make kids just not look good. She's tremendous. Patty Eubanks is having a fantastic year. She just sent that ball into circle. Lauren Hebert working it even further towards cage. There she goes. See, the girls just really pop. That's Jordan Trotter popped out to come get that ball. They really work hard. For Woodside, I've noticed a real sharp game so far from their senior midfield captain, Samantha Moats. She is also the president of the National Honor Society at Woodside. She made the Newport News tournament all-tournament team, excuse me. She's number 23. Seems to be taking their free hits out of there and doing a real good job. Patty Eubanks just worked hard to get that ball upfield. There's Kelly Messina with a big cross all the way across to where the right wing normally would be. And the camera's still looking for our right wing. There she is, Heather Stollard. She's just come into the game.
Now, Heather has had an injury, I believe, was in the Denby match. Is that correct?
Yes, she did. She took just a funny step, felt something a little weird in her leg, and has been working kind of slowly to get it back to where it's normal. She's now wearing a brace. There may be a little damage in there, but she's been playing through it. Now that she has the brace today for the first time, we'll see what she can do. That's the reason she didn't start. We want to break her in slowly, and I think the substitution was going on just then, and that's why she wasn't where she normally is, because Heather does play great position, and we'll see again just some more speed. And to come off the bench with somebody as good as that child, that's a big advantage for us. This will be Cobb at the top. She sends down to Hebert. Now we're trying to get them to move, and there we go with another corner. And again, these girls have already come back. You see Chelsea Hicks coming into the picture. Now she's got to go back to the 50. We start all over, and she sprints again. So eventually, you really wear them out when you go corner after corner. And we'll try to work the ball over to Heather's side here. There's Cobb. She'll shoot. Great save by Sickles with the right foot late. Now that ball came off the goalie's pads up in the air, which they consider a dangerous play if it's into people, which it was. So we'll get another corner. Now we've set up the Cobb shot. Cobb will probably come middle this time. They kind of alternate. There we go, and there's Heather Stollard, and she can rip it. Big save again by Sickles. Hebert will work it on the right side. Good stick work and a nice cross by Lauren. Lauren works it inside to Bowman. Bowman, after she sends the ball out on the corner, always goes to post, and I've never had a player who can tip a ball out of the air and just redirect like she can. She looks like a little bit of Wayne Gretzky. Had an absolutely gorgeous goal against Tallwood to win that game 1-0, and she's just a great kid. She too had a knee problem. She had an ACL surgery last year in May and was back to start the season in August. And it's just incredible. And now it's really coming into where she's getting back to full speed. And you see Katie O'Brien hustling back with her ACL brace. And remember, Bob, these are soccer injuries. So those of you worried about bringing your kids into field hockey because of the injuries, these braces came with the soccer season. Soon we'll see Jennifer Tobin. She wears a brace on her knee as well. She had a little MCL problem when she collided with a right fielder in softball. That's a beautiful ball by Heather Stollard. O'Brien fed it to her, up to Diana Golden, over to Kelly Messina. Kelly Messina will shoot. Great play by the defense there, Woodside. Okay, a little foul. That one is probably what they call advancing. Most of the people in the crowd will call it feet.
I've noticed that Heather is positioned herself right up in front of the keeper, what they would call cherry picking in basketball.
She does play pretty high, and again, we've been real fortunate with Lauren and our outside links. Today, Natalie Bowen and Patty Eubank are playing that position. Real soon, Maggie Heffley will come in. And all three of those just do a fabulous job of driving the ball down the field. So it affords our wings an opportunity to play real high. Jordan Trotter will play some wing today, and she's also been playing some outside link. And she, too, has just been real good this year, getting the ball, taking 2 or 3 steps, and driving the ball up to our forwards. There's Kelly Messina sending it all the way through. Diana Gold, a little 1v1. Great defense there. If we can get a number, it's tough to see. That's number 10 for Woodside. That's a beautiful play. That jabbing the ball and getting it away from Diana Golden is worth a mention. That's Casey Hickey. She's a junior defender for them. Also plays softball for Woodside. They send the ball into Bristol Bowman. Bristol Bowman, there's Heather Stollard right on the post. We'll have a penalty corner.
Now, with Heather's size, it would seem that once she gets positioned inside, it'd be tough to move her off.
I don't know who would be able to do it. She's not just, she's strong. She's strong and quick. And this year, last year she actually started where she really got some good control of her hits. Early in her career, she was almost too strong. There's Cobb over to Lauren Hebert, fights her way through. Nice little move and a great pass across the circle. Ball goes out to Heather. Woodside sends it away and corner again. This should be about the 6th one we've had, so hopefully Kecoughtan at this point will get into a little rhythm and put one in. Cobb is a tremendous thinker out there, and she really does kind of pay attention to how the defense comes out. So she'll look for what they will. And there's Heather Stop. Oh, wow. That would be worth a replay. That ball got in there before the keeper had a chance to even move.
So that was an assist by Mandy Cobb, correct?
Yes, Mandy Cobb, and then also Bristol Bowman. Bristol Bowman sends all the short corners out from that side of the cage, and generally they are right on Mandy's stick. Mandy sent that over to Heather, and anytime they hit a ball that hard, I don't know if the TV will even show how hard that ball really was, but they hit them. They don't hit them a whole lot harder than that in college, and that's why Heather Stollard will be playing somewhere next year for sure, and her grades have gotten much, much better. And her attitude and everything is fit for that game because she's fast and she works hard, and we're excited to see it because if the coach doesn't want that big hit, they're missing something. There's Katie O'Brien with a little between the legs move. She'll keep working it down the field. Good play, Woodside. Stop. O'Brien will chase it back, and we'll see the double team here if you saw Natalie Bowen coming over. And there's Hebert. Always 2 going to the ball once we get them to that left sideline, and that's huge. Lauren Hebert again, still working. Great job. Now you need to give them 5 yards. Good rip by Hebert all the way down to Stollard. Stollard will get through that. There's where strength comes into play. She's just so strong. Good drive there. Looked like it hit her in the foot, but they're going to call it a raised ball. A lot of times when they hit it real hard, though, they tend to call it a little more often as safety becomes an issue. Not sure if that's correct, but they do it. Natalie Bowen. Great fight, takes it away from Hicks and goes down the right side. Good cross, Stollard awaits. There's Heather. Good defense by Woodside again, but Kecoughtan continues to work inside. That looks like Jordan Trotter. Kelly Messina on the left side. Again, she's right on post. Well, it got behind the keeper, but they're not going to count that one. Not sure what happened. Probably hit a Kecoughtan foot or what they call obstruction, which is what you do in soccer when you screen the ball. In hockey, you do that, and it's a foul. And Kelly Messina, good work there. Bristol Bowman's going to send it right down to her. They're very quick at that. They get rid of the ball. And Woodside, we'll see, does the same thing today so far anyways. I'm sure they'll keep it up. Their free hits are extremely quick. They don't let Kecoughtan line up and prepare to defend it, and Kecoughtan hasn't done that with them either. Here you go. This will be, I believe, Samantha Moats, and it is, and she's done a, whoops, nice job. There's a good fake. That's
so
better.
Since most of the attacking is done down the right side, is that why Mandy Cobb plays the left defender for Kecoughtan? Is she the most solid defender?
Pretty much, yeah. She is our most solid defender, and she prefers that side, and you do put your best defender on the left side for that reason. You're absolutely right.
Now, looking at the match so far, if you were the Woodside coach, in fact, who is the Woodside coach?
Woodside coach is Susan Reagan Pimlett, And Susan's mother is the head referee, Judy Reagan, who does an outstanding job with getting all the officials, and it's a tough job. Obviously, like you said, 99% of the people don't know this game, so how in the world do you get enough officials to man all these schools that are now getting this sport, thankfully? And Miss Reagan, Susan's mother, has done a great job. Susan's been at Woodside now for, I want to say 4 years. It could be longer, but I do know that since she's gotten there, she's done a remarkable job. The school obviously is still kind of new, but Susan's program gets better every single year. Last year we only beat Woodside 1-0, and Woodside did a nice job in the district tournament. And this year now they're fighting for second place, and well, first place if they win today, second place if not. And I think they're as good a team as Gloucester is, although we played Gloucester early in the year, and I think Gloucester's getting a lot better, and Gloucester did beat them at Woodside, but it was a very close game. Good ball by Hebert.
Now, to get you to coach against your own team for a minute, if you were coaching Woodside, looking at the game so far, what would you have your team do?
I think I'd try to move the ball, switch the ball to the right, because they're having a real tough time coming out the left side, and Natalie Bowen, number 10, is playing a great game for us, and she's real quick, and they obviously don't know what's on our other side, but I would try that, and I would probably just try to release the ball a little sooner. As there's beautiful ball.
Now, that was Heather again, wasn't it?
Yeah, Katie O'Brien sent the ball in, a pretty shot, and Heather Stollard was right on the post where she's supposed to be, and with quick and sure hands, she sent a reverse stick into cage. That's 2-0. That's Heather's second goal of the game. They came about 5 minutes apart, I believe. There's 8 minutes to go in the half right now. Great assist by Katie O'Brien. Yeah, I guess more of a quick release. They're going to call timeout, and we'll see what they do, Bob. Got to make a little switch now. 2-0 in hockey is tough. They started out the beginning of the game, and they sent a few quick through balls and got that quick corner on Kecoughtan. And again, just the parents helping out. I don't know how you could possibly coach without the work that these parents have done for us. They make our job real easy. There's our JV girls supporting their varsity.
In fact, let's talk about the JVs for a minute. The JV team, which is obviously the feeder for the varsity program, is having an incredible season.
Yeah, the JV is outstanding, Bob. They have not given up a goal yet. They're 8-0 over the last 3 years. They've only lost 2 games. One was to Gloucester last year, 1-0. That was their only loss last year. And the year before, they were 12-0. So actually, it's been 1 loss in 3 years since these 8th graders became JV players. And they play the same system now as the varsity, and they look to the varsity to work with them and help them. And we do a lot of mentorship stuff where the varsity pairs up with a JV kid. And we couldn't ask for more with the JV. They've got a big tournament in Lakeland this weekend. It's homecoming weekend, and that's kind of a big commitment that they've made to hockey. They're going to attend the hockey and probably wish they could do the homecoming too, but unfortunately they fell on the same date, and we're proud that they're going down there, and I think we'll come away winning that tournament. We played Jamestown, who we beat in the finals last year. Goals for JV, I do want to add this because it's pretty darn impressive what they've done. In the last 3 years, they've outscored their opponents 136-8. Pretty solid.
Well, that certainly bodes well for the future of Kecoughtan varsity field hockey.
Yeah, I think there's a good tradition going right now, and I think that the best part is that they see how hard the varsity works. The varsity comes out ready to practice and ready to play, and they practice on Fridays. They don't get days off, and they start in June, and the JV's right there with them. So hopefully they just continue the tradition that the girls before these girls started. We've got a ton of them playing in college, and that's why. They work very hard. There's Jordan Trotter on the field. She's had a great season for Kecoughtan. She's playing left wing today. Normally she's an outside link and a midfielder. She can pretty much play anywhere. Great advantage for Kecoughtan is that they've got 7 girls on that bench that can come on and play any position, and they actually all play about half the game. We've got a few that play more minutes than others, but most of them are all the same because they're just so interchangeable. There's Trotter on the post, right where she's supposed to be. Good rips. She'll keep fighting until it goes into. Jordan's got a good feisty game out there. There's Maggie Heffley again. She won't quit until she wins that ball. She's great. Good ball through the middle. That ball's lifted from the circle, which will be a corner, and Mandy Cobb gets to touch it. There she goes. She likes that. Goes in back and does her job. There's Emily Sheward in the back. She's just a junior. Great player. She's played since she was a freshman. She was the only freshman to play when she was a freshman.
I think Emily played soccer for a while and has now decided to concentrate on field hockey.
Well, good for her. I love soccer too, but Emily is a good field hockey player, knows the game, does some neat things, some reverse stick sweeps. She's very good at what we call a block tackle, which unfortunately is difficult in the grass because of the bad bounces, but when she goes to the next level and she's on turf or real good Bermuda grass, she'll be able to use that block tackle, and she's a real cognitive player. She thinks and makes timing runs and times her jabs and blocks, and the higher you get in this sport, the more important it is to think.
Well, I've been a soccer coach for about half the girls you have out here, if not more, in the Peninsula Adult Soccer League, and Emily was one of my players a couple of years ago, and she did a great job.
Yeah, she's a good kid and a very bright kid, and I believe she's an officer in her class, as are a lot of these girls. It's exciting. There's Katie O'Brien. Good dig, good little spin move. She'll try to work it through her feet. And if all else fails, then she gets that call, and they have to back off 5 yards, and we get a free one. Speaking of nice, Jennifer Field, number 13. They don't come any nicer than that, Bob. Have you had the privilege of working with her at all in soccer?
My wife was Jenny's soccer coach for the JV team last spring, and I saw her play all the matches. She's a great player, and I've known her parents for a long time. Really like Jenny a lot. Jenny's
probably our most improved player this year. She had a good season last year in JV, but nothing like what she's having this year. She stepped right up and gets great minutes and plays great defense. And she will be on the same side now as Chelsea Hicks, and we'll see what she can do against her. We knew going in that was one we had to stop, and we didn't put a man on her. I really don't like to mark a particular player because I feel like the way we double team and the way we play one-on-one defense, we don't need to do that. But we'll see what happens now. Christine Giles is right there in the center of the field walking back. She's our only sophomore this year, other than Ashley Whipple, the goalie, who's a freshman, not a sophomore, so sorry about that. So Giles is the only sophomore on the team, and got up there with just some great speed. She's pretty new at the game, but her speed and her stick work are tremendous, and she's beginning to really see the field well. There's Lauren Hebert with an absolutely beautiful ball down the right sideline to Stollard. She'll work it one step at a time.
Now you've had a Hebert on the team for quite a long time.
Oh yeah, and we're hoping that Brian and Pam will adopt one when Lauren goes away, so we can continue this tradition. Erin Hebert was certainly one of the best players we've ever coached, and she's now at Radford University, and she plays the majority of the minutes up there, and she's doing a tremendous job for Coach Jeff Woods up at Radford, and he'll be down to watch us later in the season, I'm sure, to get a peek at Lauren, and she wants to go there as well, and he's excited to maybe add a Hebert to his lineup.
Little different personalities between Lauren and Erin.
Yeah, they are, but they're starting to close a little bit as far as on the field. Lauren definitely likes to have a good time out there and laugh and enjoy what she's doing, but as this team has gotten better and better and she's gotten better and better, she really puts more of a game face on. And I don't know if I have anyone that has practiced harder this year than she has. She is very, very intense. We do some things where we do one-on-one and two-on-twos in practice. Now, that's a ball that was lifted that should not have been called. If you lift the ball into space, but your intent is to hit it flat like it was, they should have let that call go. But sometimes they don't all go with you.
Now, does it make any difference on the lift call if there's a player in close proximity to the ball?
Absolutely. If it's a dangerous situation or it's at a player, then it is a high raised ball. But if you're hitting a ball into space, as they say, that call should be held. And that ball, like that one, where she's got to actually dive to stop it, should have been held again. But sometimes they feel that it's getting out of control, and so they kind of stop it. But those balls are not too high and shouldn't necessarily be called. The first run down the field by Woodside, there was a beautiful flick between two players, head high, that bounced just before going to the circle, and Woodside got almost a breakaway out of it, and it was a beautiful ball that they properly held the whistle and let the ball play. But sometimes they'll call it if it just leaves the ground. And
well, I know
that's
as a casual spectator of field hockey, I've been out here watching now for the last 7 or 8 years, and I'd like to thank in particular Randy Morris, who's been trying to teach me the rules that whole long time. The high ball call is the one that I think is the most inconsistent. I just can't understand why it's called and why it's not called.
It really is. It's a true judgment call, and one thing that happens in hockey that in field hockey anyways that's hard is that you have 2 officials and they split the field, and oftentimes they just call their half of the field and the other official calls just theirs, and they don't really help each other out, and they need to work together more because the game is so much faster than it used to be. But sometimes they don't like anybody helping them out, and in order to call a ball into space, you need a lead and a trail official, and they need to look at each other to see whether that should be called. And sometimes, the parents take over and they make a little too much noise over there, and they influence the calls. And the field is really got a big say in how many balls are raised. She needs to get back 5 yards and give her time to hit, and Bristol gives her a dirty look, and the official will let her bump that up 10 yards and try it again. But again, this field is a little fluffy because of the rain, so we've got a lot of grass, so sometimes that ball can go down into the ground a little bit and they tend to pop up, and sometimes you've got long grass where the kids are working too hard to hit it and they chop at it. So the officials have a tough time deciding whether or not it needs to be called, and they do a great job 90% of the time. So,
well, I happened to be out here Sunday when your groundskeeping department was mowing the field, and I know they've cut it about as short as they can.
Yeah, that's the problem. We tried to get another goal. Beautiful. That was a shot by Diana Golden, right to Cage, and Heather Stollard pounced on the rebound and sent it home.
That's a hat trick.
That would be 3 for Heather, and we're down under a minute to go in the half, so she scored 3 in less than a half. I think she came in about 18 minutes to go. So she's done a nice job today, and it looks like that knee brace has given her some confidence, and she's looking good. She had 3 going into this game, so she's doubled her season output in one half.
Well, that was the second goal in a row where she was up positioned right next to the keeper. Isn't that right?
Yes, and she's real patient and doing the right thing this year, and because of it, this team is doing real well. She makes a big difference when she's out on that field, and there's a nice ball by Field, a little high. Now that one she did lift into. Okay, we'll let it go the other way. Patty Eubank with the rip. Kelly Messina playing good reverse stick defense there. Maggie Heffley, who won't quit. Watch this. She'll keep on fighting. She's good. Still chasing her back. Keeping the run. Woodside with a nice run. They see as Hicks has switched sides now. She's playing on the right side. Makes a nice run down the field. As we come towards a close, you can see the manager. That's Nikki Hicks talking to the official and telling her we're out of time.
And it looks like we're at halftime. And, Coach, what did you think of the effort of Kecoughtan in the first half?
Well, a slow start, but they sure did keep the ball in Woodside's end for the majority of the half and kept them kind of bottled up. There's Dave Messina in the center. Susan LeBlanc, that's Bristol Bowman's mom, walking toward us. Dave Messina behind. There's the O'Briens. And there's a scoreboard that says Kecoughtan 2 and Woodside nothing. It's off by 1, but they'll fix it. And the little Lady Warrior banner there was done by Rosemary Swisher, whose daughter Catherine Swisher plays for the CNU team now and just scored her first goal in her college career. And that program has really turned up a notch. And Mike Swisher still does some great things for Kecoughtan, comes out and cheers on these girls and motivates her, and was going to even do the announcing for this. There's Steve Howell. His daughter, Lindsay Howell, graduated last year from Kecoughtan. She, too, is playing at Radford University alongside Aaron Hebert. They play at the University of Virginia, where I think you have someone you know who goes.
I do. My daughter, Allison, is the second year there.
Well, maybe Allie will be at the game tomorrow night. Aaron and Lindsay will be there to take on the Virginia Cavalier hockey team, which is quite a good one. They're young this year, and ODU throttled them, but ODU throttles everybody, and Virginia's had some great years, and they're doing pretty well this year.
While we have this time, why don't we mention, Scotty, if you could, some of the people that have graduated out of your program and gone on to play college field hockey. I don't think you've gotten to Jessica Morris.
No, I haven't gotten to Jessica Morris, and anybody that reads Sports Illustrated could have seen her last year. She was picked to be an All-American and was in the Sports Illustrated Faces in the Crowd. last November. Jessica Morris, when she was at Kecoughtan in '96, I believe she led the state of Virginia in scoring. Unfortunately, at that time, we didn't have an all-region team or an all-state team, or she certainly would have been on both. Jessica Morris was just a tremendous athlete, and she holds the career record for Kecoughtan scoring, and I don't know if it'll ever be broken. Diana Golden's going to give it a shot, but she scored 68 goals in what was a short career, because she, as a freshman, it was our first year ever having hockey, so crossing the midline, center line was a big feat. So Jessica didn't get to score. In fact, the team didn't her first year, so she didn't start scoring till her sophomore year, and give it a shot. But she scored 68 goals in what was a short career, because she, as a freshman, it was our first year ever having hockey, so crossing the midline, center line was a big feat. So Jessica didn't get to score. In fact, the team didn't her first year, so she didn't start scoring till her sophomore year, and she played alongside some great players, one of whom you know from soccer, Becky Ossendorf. What a wonderful player, and she and Aaron Grimm led the team in assists that year, feeding Jessica, and Jessica just scored like crazy. Becky Ossendorf is at Washington and Lee, or just graduated from Washington and Lee, excuse me, last year. She started a field hockey program there, a club team, and then this year, I believe, was the first official year for Washington and Lee. Unfortunately, she's already graduated, but Becky Ossendorf can take credit for getting that started.
Well, I know Becky's mother was one of the people that 9 years ago got field hockey started in the Hampton Public Schools.
She sure did, and we're so thankful of that. It's given me something to do for a long time as we start the second half. We mentioned Hebert and Howell at Radford. Rebecca Morris and Aaron Hallisey are both playing Virginia hockey at the University of Virginia. They're playing on the club team up there, which is it's a very big deal. They travel a lot, and they have some tremendous players. Obviously, the University of Virginia is a big school with a lot of talent who recruits overseas, so there's only 17 spots on that team, so there's a heck of a lot of great hockey players that play on the club team that are one step away maybe, or just don't have the time to play for the big team. And Rebecca Morrison has been really instrumental in getting our kids involved in that, and Aaron Hallisey's having a blast this year up there. We talked about Swisher at CNU. Kara Cudlock graduated from Kecoughtan. She's the assistant JV coach this year at Kecoughtan, and really helping us immensely, and will probably take over that program very soon. Tyra Ward, she played at Bridgewater. You remember her from soccer, a lot of speed. She only went, I think, 2 or 3 years there. She's not got a pretty good job in the D.C. area, and she's not playing there anymore, but she did play her first year there. Jessica Sheehan is playing on the club team at ODU, and she's the president of that club team this year as a freshman, which is outstanding. She's keeping them busy and keeping them rolling, and it's real neat to see these girls continue to play. They have an adult team that plays together in the summer. It's all Kecoughtan alumnus, and it's just super to see them play, and I'm sure I've missed some.
Well, now looking at this second half, are there any changes for the Kecoughtan starting team?
No, we pretty much keep it the same. We make our substitutions about 12 to 15 minutes into the half, halfway through it, and we try to do that not because the ones coming in are really any worse or less skilled than the others, but we try to keep them in pairs. Jenny Field and Maggie Heffley will come in on the outside links and replace Patty Eubank and Natalie Bowen, and so therefore they're used to playing together. One plays up a little higher than the other, and we've found that those matchups work real well. We've got Emily Shewart still in the back. We can move her to any position as well. She's very good at outside link because she's got that strong drive and quick release. But today we're going to keep her in the back because Bristol's been playing midfield with Katie, and they're doing a nice job up there.
Now, I'm assuming that just about everybody who's interested in Kecoughtan field hockey will watch this. So let's mention we have Senior Day coming up.
We do have Senior Day. It's Monday. It's at 4:30 at Kecoughtan High School. And at halftime, we honor the 5 seniors that we have. And, you know, Kelly, Bristol, Heather, Lauren, and, of course, because I have to say all this, I'll forget somebody. We'll all be honored, and they will all play next year. Mandy Cobb as well. In college, and it's just so sad to see them leave, but so exciting to know that they're going to continue to play hockey, and they've given us so much leadership this year on the field and off the field. And there's a beautiful drive by Hebert up to Karen Langell that we're really, it's just going to be tough to see him go, but last year we had a great senior class too, and they continued to play, and these juniors hopefully will learn and remember all the neat things these seniors did.
Is it a
and
good run?
follow through. Great run by Diana Golden. Bob, she's been shut out today, and that hasn't happened much this year, maybe once against Tallwood where we only scored the one, but Diana played a great game. She's as good a forward as there is in this league. And when you go to a faster surface, Heritage has a beautiful fast field, and obviously Tallwood, we played on turf. Diana really has some skills that she can't do as well on a slower field. Her hands are quite quick, and her one touch is super. And
well, I know
she
at the
too
end of the
sees
summer,
field
when
in her wings.
at the end of the summer, Diana was playing soccer for me and came in on one Saturday morning, scored in the championship match, enabled the Kick High team to win, and then I sent her back to you, and she scored for you in the championship match of your tournament.
Yes, she did, and she won the most valuable player in the Nansemond River tournament this year, and that's pretty darn impressive. There's some good schools down there, and to be a junior on a team with so many good seniors, and then to stand out like she did, it's really neat, and she'll stand out a lot more.
Well, I can say for my soccer program that over this past season, there's no question in my mind that Diana was the most improved soccer player we had.
Yeah, she's a just a real fierce competitor out there. She looks kind of small as you look at the monitor or as you look down the field, but she plays much larger, and I think teams have tried to be physical with her, and it doesn't work at all. It fires her up, and she gets better and stronger, and they don't push her around at all. There's Hebert, a beautiful ball into the circle. There's Karen Langell. Nice defensive play by the keeper, and also number 10, their sweeper. The keeper's down, diving around, and that's a foul against Kecoughtan. Could have been, by the call, that was hacking, which means you're going for the ball, but you are hitting someone's stick rather than the ball, and that'll happen in a scramble, and we got caught. There's Chelsea Hicks coming this way. She's going to remain on the right side, apparently. She wears the glove. You can always tell who she is by that. Nice stop by Karen Langell, 5 yards away. Karen and Chelsea are very good friends. They play together in the off-season a lot. Both wear the number 4, and gave each other a big high five and a hug at halftime. And so they'll play competitively out here in the second half, but it's all in fun. Here, too, I think, Bob, is where they need to maybe go to the middle and try to stretch the field. If they go to the middle and then work it to the left sideline, as opposed to coming up here where all the crowd is, they might have some more success. But sometimes that's tough. You got to drill the ball. There's Hebert.
Well, it does seem that every time Woodside receives the ball, there are 2 defenders on them.
Yeah, we try to double team as much as we can. Field hockey is a difficult game with that ball to move it around and get by one person that's playing good defense, let alone 2, and you kind of know where they're going to go with it. So if you put the second one in the right position, they'll be able to recover quickly. Here's Mandy Cobb, and there again is just a beautiful ball. Nice stop by again Samantha Moats, who sends it back Kecoughtan's way. Cobb will send it outside to Eubank, who's well positioned. Good play there by Hicks. Cobb again to the outside. Now Bristol Bowman takes Patty's spot up there. You can see where the W's come into play. They've really picked up this system and run with it. Karen Langell will come back. Now we've got it once again. A little triangle working. Bristol Bowman's got a few options. She'll go to Karen. Karen will try to bring it down the sideline. Again, it's tough on this sideline if they double team, and Woodside's Moats did a nice job of picking her up. Drills the ball through Hebert. Cobb will send this ball up the right side. Bowen is very, very fast and a good little stick handler. Nice reverse sweep up to Katie O'Brien. Katie O also plays a ton of soccer, but she has found a way to make them both work. And I tell you, she goes from our practice straight down to Virginia Beach every day to practice, gets there at 5:30 and just works, must be 4 or 5 hours a day. I don't know how she holds up. There's Diana Golan in the center of the circle, working hard. Good ball by Kelly, and that should be a PK.
Now, virtually all the players on the Kecoughtan team play at least one other varsity sport, isn't that correct?
Yeah, I want to say almost all of them. Heather Stollard runs track.
A lot of them play soccer.
Most of them play soccer, too. We have some swimmers in the bunch. Maggie Heffley, I know, swims. We have some excellent dancers who spend an awful lot of time doing dance at night and year-round. Jordan Trotter is a tremendous dancer. I get to go see her recitals at the end of every year, and they're busy. And Jennifer Tobin's an outstanding softball player, as is Patty and Karen Langell. Mandy Cobb is not playing basketball anymore, but she can hit some threes and she can dish the ball. I've seen her play. Okay, good corner. There's Cobb over to Lauren Hebert. Lauren Hebert keeps working, and that was a hack as well. I guess when you get turned around, Bob, and you have to reach across the body, it's very difficult to play defense because it's easy to make that stick-to-stick contact, and the referees are very good at calling that. That was a good call by the official on that play there.
Well, I know the first time that I ever tried to hold a field hockey stick and do anything, the first thing I wanted to do was use the back side of the stick and turn my back to my opponent, and both of those are, of course, illegal.
That's right. It was probably legal in your broom ball games at college, but you can only use one side of the stick. And in hockey, you can judge a lot by anything that's legal, or anything that you really would want to do is illegal. It's a funny game. You can only use one side of the stick, and you can't screen the ball. And offsides used to be illegal, and now they've changed it, which really has opened up the game and made it a lot of fun. I think we're going to settle down the crowd a little bit.
Play here, but we're all right. Ready to start up again? Woodside's not showing any sign of quit here, Coach.
Not at all. In fact, it seems that they've had the ball in Kecoughtan's end most of the time now, this half, and I think part of the reason is if we've noticed, they're going the other way, and they're on the right side of the field, and it's just so much easier to attack from that side. So great adjustments by Susan at halftime to get the ball to the right side, and Kecoughtan's going to have to find a way to get it back to our right side if we don't want Woodside coming back in our face all day. There's Karen Lanza with some nice work. Good flip over the stick. Diana Golden with some serious speed will take the ball into the Woodside circle. Nice defense there. Lauren Hebert will keep it in play. Pretty move. She's got Bowman giving support. She'll send it top of the circle, and Bowman will work it. Nice job. Carry out of the circle for Woodside. Good move again. Hebert likes to make the pull move and a quick release like that to Langell. And Golden just barely gets a piece. Tries to bring it back reverse stick and gets a penalty corner. Good job. Again, if they don't score but they get the corner, they've really done something. They've won the battle.
Now, basically the play here is that Bristol Bowman is going to play it into Mandy Cobb, and then you have options off of that?
Yeah, that's true. And one of the options, obviously, is to Hebert at the low post, which we like to use a lot because there's really no defensing it. If they send a person to Lauren, they're really making it so that now, see here, we've sucked that person all the way to the side of the circle, and now we have 7v3 in the center of the circle. So tough to defense, and there's a ball through the circle. Golden tips it up to Karen Langell, and Karen Langell bangs it home. Karen's a great kid. She keeps things lively. Glad she's just a junior because she'll make it fun next year. And she's just a great post player, and she was one that we weren't sure would be seeing as many minutes as she's seeing this year. She's just come on and started and played great, and really is one of those players it's all team. You know, we say, wow, we wish we could have got you more minutes today, and she said, I could care less. It's 4-0, and we're doing great. So she's great to have around, and when she's on the field, she generally makes things happen. She's our second leading scorer. Third leading scorer. She's got 5 goals on the year, and Christine Giles, the center forward that goes in and rotates through that front line, has 6 on the year. She's having a super season.
Now, while we've got a second, while it's 4-0, let's talk about one of my favorite topics. You beat Gloucester this year. Yes,
we did beat Gloucester, and that's always a great thing. And we beat Gloucester in Gloucester after they had canceled the game 2 or 3 times due to some real wild excuses. There's Jennifer Tobin moving it up the right side. Or, excuse me, is that Diana Golden? Diana Golden sends it to the post and just out. Yeah, beating Gloucester was great because they had a couple reasons why they didn't want to play it when they did, so we kept moving it back. And then when we finally did play it, it was a rainstorm. Chelsea Hicks, nice move into the foot of Patty Eubank, so they'll get another shot at it. Good drive through the Kecoughtan players, and Maggie Heffley will send it back the other way. Karen Langell's going to keep digging until she comes away with it. There she goes. She's got Diana Golden breaking. And a nice job again by the sweeper. Woodside sweepers played a great game today. That's number 10, Casey Hickey. And also number 6, Mackenzie Morris, has played very well in the back for Woodside. We're talking about Gloucester. I can't forget. Just a great start to the season. We started with them last year and beat them in double overtime, and that really gave us a big kickstart and led us to an undefeated season. And then to beat them this year, really outplayed them too. We had played the tournament first, and that gave us a big advantage. And when we play Gloucester again in this tournament, if we do in the district tournament, we'll see a different Gloucester team. They'll be much improved. They have some excellent players. Lenhart and Reynolds are outstanding, and Lenhart is one of about 6 Gloucester sisters. They're not all at Gloucester now. We've played them one at a time, and all of them are excellent. And so we need to shut her down, and also Reynolds, who's their captain, Megan Reynolds. She's a very nice player. So we'll have our hands full, but we outshot and outplayed them, and we'll come up big at Todd Stadium in October if we have to. There's Katie O'Brien doing some more great defensive work. She and Bristol Bowman really, statistically, you don't always see him. Bowman has 3 goals and 8 assists this year, which is very good. O'Brien just 1 goal and 3 assists. But if you added up the minutes that the ball is actually on one of their sticks, it would be a good percentage of the time we have the ball. And you can't give them enough credit. I've never had a midfield as strong as those 2. Normally I have 3 in the middle, and this year we just used 2 because of what they can do. And Lauren Hebert basically runs her center link position as a midfielder, so she may be making them better as well, as Lauren Hebert is certainly one of the top 2 or 3 players in the district this year. She's having a fabulous year and is a leader off the field as well for us. Our captains are Bristol Bowman, Mandy Cobb, and Lauren Hebert, and all 3 have done a nice job. And they had to replace 2 great captains, Lindsay Howell and Erin Hallisey, who left us last year and who did wonderful work for us. It was a great ball across the field. Sorry, Bob.
Speaking of Erin, I remember last year when she took the ball to the head.
She took a ball to the head against Gloucester, and we had to quickly cover it up, change the jersey, and put a Band-Aid on it. And Erin was adamant that life would go on without stitches until the game ended. And she continued to play, not a lot that day, only about 75 of the 90 minutes, which is 15 less than she normally would get. We went to double overtime, so it was long, and we had to sit her out just to clean the blood off a little bit. And she was just an incredible player, so fast, so determined. Never will be really replaced in the sense that you just will always be able to remember her going everywhere on the field and doing everything that needed to be done off the field. A neat kid, and again made the club travel team at UVA, which is quite an accomplishment. And she was the valedictorian, of course, last year. So it wasn't just hockey that she did. She does a little bit of everything, very involved with the church, and also dance, and just a neat kid. Great hit by Hicks up to Cobb, who sends it immediately to Patty Eubank, as usual. Patty Eubank down to midfield. That's Karen Lanzo. Great ball, and we try to just transition from one side of the field to the other. Again, we're trying to get it to the right to make this easier. Maggie Heffley will send it through. Karen Lanzo right where she's supposed to be. Cross, beautiful. There's Jennifer Tobin, who we haven't seen much of today. She's having a good year. This girl, Bob, can flat run. She hasn't played field hockey as long as some of these girls, and this year again had the MCL problems in softball, so she didn't start until right when we did in August. So it's taken her a bit of time to catch up, but now she's full speed, and we'll see a lot more of Jennifer Tobin as the year goes on. She's a real spunky player who just gets the job done. And again, these people, these fullbacks and outside backs for the other team have just got to get excited when we send Heather Stallard out of the game, and they must think, good, I've got somebody coming in to replace this kid I can't keep up with. And then Tobin comes in and she's faster. And
Scotty, well, we've got a timeout here. I think we should thank Channel 46 for coming out to Kecoughtan today.
Oh, Channel 46 is just awesome, Bob. I can't thank them enough. Mike Nowinski did a wonderful job setting this up, as did Scotty Bowers, and Andre Mattingly is the filmer today, and he's just so cool to come out and do this. We were trying to get the band podium, but that didn't work out, so he had to do it from the top of a van. And you know, this is just something that is so good to see us on TV, and the girls get a kick out of it, and And Mike and Andre and Scotty are just great, and all the people down there at the Hampton Public Television Station. City
We're
Schools.
hoping this is the first annual field hockey telecast.
First annual, and let's just say there's going to be many. Channel 46 does an excellent job with everything they do, and hopefully you and I won't screw it up.
No, and maybe they'll invite us back for soccer in the spring.
Soccer is always cool. We will hopefully get back for that. As the game does wind down, Kecoughtan could be looking for their 10th shutout of the year, so this is pretty exciting. They've done a great job. We did allow Morey to score a couple, and Gloucester got a very late goal after we had gone up 3-0. Our corners in the first half, we had 11 corners to Woodside's 1. In the second half so far, it's just been 2-2. So Woodside has had a great second half, good adjustments by their coach at halftime, and Kecoughtan hasn't changed much. So Woodside's just making good adjustments and playing a better half. Here's Chelsea Hicks 1v1 with Lauren Hebert. Ooh, and a pretty move, and then she drives by Bowman as well. Eubank will try to stay with her now. See if she can get the trifecta here. I doubt it. Eubank can really jab. If you see the one hand on the stick, she's just trying to knock the ball off the stick and wait until she gets some help, and there's the help from Bristol Bowman. Oh, great play inside by Woodside coming. Now they're doing a little double teaming. Good ball. Bristol Bowman will try to carry this one wire to wire. That was Angela Crapes for Woodside. Bowman, little lift over the stick down the left side to a position Katie Ewart. She'll send it up to Diana Golden. Back to Ewart, and a nice return to Diana. Diana will keep digging until she gets the ball as well. Good ball to Ewart. Right back to Golden, and the whiff.
Nice work.
Great give and go by those two. They're working like champs. And Katie Ewart, again, is another player that we're putting up at left wing now. She does a nice job of getting the ball, and she knows where to play, and her position is good. There's Patty Eubank to take this hit.
I'll tell you, a team I saw this year, Scotty, that I was really impressed with their improvement was Hampton. That program's come out of nowhere to being a respectable team.
It really, really has. Judy Lucas has done a nice job with them, and they started out having to do all they could with just 11 or 12 girls. It's difficult to get the girls to try it. There's Lauren Hebert getting back at Chelsea for the last time. We'll see who wins this war. Hebert didn't like getting beat that last time. Oh, nice touch. See, you take that stick back to drive. If the defense is right on it, you can take it away. And I would say Lauren Hebert got the best of her that time. But she's back at her again. Another stop by Hebert, and there's a little shove. A gentle shove, though. Again, they're friends. They play in the offseason in the Winter League, and they played up in Williamsburg. So I'm sure Lauren and Chelsea won't have any hard feelings. Hicks can take it. She's tough. There's a little pat on the back, so no hard feelings, and Hebert gets a green card.
Now, as the game winds down here, Scotty, I think we should pick a player of the match for each team, and I'm going to take Kecoughtan.
All righty.
You take Woodside. I don't want you picking a player on your own team.
No, I wouldn't want to do that. I have to see them almost every day. Woodside, I think an outstanding game has been played by number 23. That's Samantha Moats. She's a senior midfielder for Woodside, a captain. I believe we mentioned she was president of the National Honor Society. She made that Newport News All tournament team. She's a soccer player as well, and she's done an awful lot of free hits for Woodside. She's been around the ball. Difficult not to give it to that sweeper who's done a great job, and that's either Angela Crapes, who's done a nice job, number 13, and also Casey Hickey. I think both of them did a real good job, but I'm going to give it to 23. Moats did a nice job today.
I'm going to take Heather Stollard. She had the 3 goals and, by my count, about 20 minutes of play in the first half that essentially put the game out of reach. Plus, it was good to see her back after having several games where she missed most or all of the time due to injury. She had her knee brace on today, and even though her mobility was limited a little bit, she had that great first goal where she just smacked it in off the penalty corner and then planted herself up front for the next 2 and popped them right in. There's Heather right there, and I think she's the player of the match for Kecoughtan.
Good call, Bob, and we're excited to have her back at full strength. We just saw Mandy Cobb again ripping one up to Lauren, and Lauren sending it end line to Golden. They really, really work well together. We look at Cobb and Bowman and Messina and Hebert as really just 4 cornering back there a lot. They get the ball and move it around, and then eventually they send it up to Heather, and she finishes the job up front if Golden isn't doing it. So it's just neat to see these seniors working together. Mandy Cobb is hoping to play hockey at Towson State, and I would be very surprised if she didn't. She's just come on, and again, didn't start until she was a sophomore. So I don't believe I've ever had a player that good that's played so few years. And she does a wonderful job in the Futures program down in Virginia Beach, and is a great team leader. And there's Jenny Field with some nice play. Send the ball back to Cobb, like you said earlier. I don't mind them going backwards anymore because they're so good at it. Jenny Field is a very, very solid passer and puts the ball right where it's supposed to be, and she put that right on Cobb's stick. There's Heather Stollard with the stop, and she'll drive it.
Well, if I can make one observation on your team, having seen Kecoughtan field hockey from the beginning, it seems to me that in past years you had Becky Ostendorf or Rebecca Morris or an Erin Hebert, and then sort of a supporting cast to go with them. And this year, to me, looks like more of a solid team all around.
Yeah, it really is by far the best team we've ever had. Last year began that tradition where we really did have a real solid cast. There was no doubt about it. Heather Stollard wins that war, and she'll drive the other side. And there's a little bit of power there, Bob. And look at Tobin. Tell me this kid isn't quick. Pretty move to go get that ball, and Tobin will keep working it. Maggie Heffley sends it across. Yeah, last year I believe started where the year where we really had a position or a player at every position, and then 3 or 4 that could push it and fill in. And I believe that's why we were undefeated last year. And we took Kempsville really wire to wire in the regional game last year. That was a game we could have won. We had as many corners, and Heather got off some great shots on the corners, and they made some great saves on us. And this year, we really think we can go down there and win it because of what we've built on from last year. And I hope the girls stay happy, and you know, that's big. Girls have to get along, and these girls do, and we hope they stay happy and healthy. And if they do, they better be careful down there at the beach. Unfortunately, by beating Tallwood and Morey and Lakeland, it's always in the Virginia Pilot, so I think they know we're coming. We're not going to take them by surprise, that's for sure. That'll be at First Colonial this year.
Well, I know all the girls will be watching this tape, and I know that they need to realize that they're on a special team now and make the most of it as they finish up this season. Go strong.
I sure hope so. I think they will, too. They're real good kids. Okay, there's a foul on Woodside, and Mandy Cobb will show us why she takes the majority of our free hits. Excellent hit.
Now, a minute ago,
all the way through, and there's Maggie Heffley with a quick one-timer to Hebert, who's got, watch her speed. She can explode by anybody. She pulls back. Now she's got space, and she finds right on the post Katie Ewart, but let her just a touch too much. But that's a great ball, and Lauren has just seen, she scored or set up the goal that Diana Golden scored against Morey to get us on the scoreboard, and it was one of the prettiest passes and runs I'd ever seen, and she took it basically from our circle and made a great diagonal run, which is key. A lot of kids just run straight to cage with the ball, and Lauren made a great diagonal run, looking up 2 or 3 times, and then finally sent the ball about 25 yards to Golden's stick, and Golden continued the rest of the way and then hit the post and hammered until the ball went in the net. Those two worked well together, and Hebert's just amazing how far she's come since her 8th grade year, when she was trying to follow in her sister's big footsteps, and now she's making her own big marks in the sod. Good kid. Forgot her stick yesterday at practice, and that could have maybe contributed to a raised ball today, but she'll never do that again. I loaned her mine, and she didn't like it. It was a little heavy, she said. She's a good kid.
Now, one of the things I really like looking at this game is the fact that if you just tuned in now, you would never know the score is 4-0. Both teams are playing as crisply and with the same intensity they were at the start of the match.
Absolutely, and it's real good for Kecoughtan, I think, to see this, because this second half, hopefully, when we see Woodside in the district tournament, will remind these girls that you don't walk out on the field and win a game. You walk out on the field and earn it, and Woodside's not going to let us walk away with anything. We were very fortunate to get a lot of corners, and here's Woodside breaking into our end. There's a great clear by Jenny Field, and again, if you see, she just gets the ball and gets rid of it. She's just wonderful at that, and then she breaks to the outside. Cobb will send it. Unfortunately, a Woodside interception there. Katie Ewart comes back to play a little D.
I see one thing that Kecoughtan does is the players tend to really keep their heads up so they have better field vision.
They do, and what we do, we work a lot inside, and that gives them the trust that the ball's going to continue to roll, and they have time to look up, and they play, a lot of them play on turf a lot, and some of the other things they do with hockey. Great ball by Cobb all the way, nice touch, and here's Christine Giles. We call her Flea, actually, so that I don't call her Christina. She hates that. So I've just changed it and call her Flea because she's just all over the field and all over the ball. The opponents get the ball and she's right in their face. And I always thought that Diana and Tobin and Heather would be the 3 fastest players I ever coached. And then along came this sophomore who matches them stride for stride until she takes the lead late. She's got great quickness. And there's another good ball by Field. Hebert comes over to take charge. And they make the call against Hebert there, but that's all right. Hit into circle. Cobb lets that one go, and a big save by Ashley Whipple. And see how aggressive she is. She comes out and plays another nice save until Cobb can clear, and there's Jenny Field right where she's supposed to be. Good stop by Field. Little touch through the feet. And now we got to get it back. That ball was sent out, and Whipple will probably go and get it. Good hustler. She's just a freshman, Bob. I've never had a freshman goalie, and to have the confidence in one that I have in Ashley is really exciting for the future at Kecoughtan. We'll have, obviously, her and Carol again since Carol's just a junior, so 2 great goalies again next year, and then I don't have to worry about a varsity goalie for 3 more years. It's really exciting to have her there.
Well, as you know, my wife, DJ, is the coach of the girls' JV soccer team, and Ashley and Christine and Jenny and several of the other girls played for my wife last spring, and they ran through an undefeated season, including giving Gloucester their first loss on their home field.
Wow, that's exciting. And there's a ball kicked into space. They'll call a high ball. That's okay. Generally in the circle, they consider it dangerous because there are supposed to be people all over the place, but I think that's a call that you can see and make a judgment on rather than calling it automatic. It was a good save by Whipple, and it was a clear to the wide side, but they called it high. So we'll give Woodside their 2nd corner of the game, or 3rd corner of the game, actually. Hicks will bring it out into play. There's a shot to Cage, and a great save by Whipple, who sends it out to a well-positioned Jenny Field. Fires it out to midfield. Send that ball over to the side. Good hustle by Jordan Trotter, who's playing right link right now. And I believe... Did we give him another corner, Bob?
Now, why is it that,
we'll discuss that after the game.
number 4, who appears to be Woodside's most skilled player, would take the penalty corner instead of receiving it?
I don't know, except that possibly I know one of the players that it looks like she can send it to. One of her options is number 23, Moats, who does have a very good drive, and you know, you can't have step 2 until you have step 1. And step 1 is getting the ball off that end line right to somebody's stick, and maybe they feel that Chelsea's a real accurate passer, and who knows, these other girls might have a bigger hit. I know Chelsea's gone to a big swing on her free hits that I don't remember her having the last 2 years. It's kind of a long loop. Jimmy Furyk looking swing, and maybe on a penalty corner it takes too long to get that off, so they've moved her back to inserting the ball. We have Bristol Bowman, Emily Schewart, and Katie O'Brien inserting the ball for us on corners, and those are our 3 real accurate players, so it really, I don't think, takes anything away from her that she's put there. And that's a great hit by Cobb, returned by Moats, number 1 for Woodside. Sends it in. There's Jenny Field. Good fight. Taken away from Hicks. Hicks returns the favor. Good little spin move through her legs. Now that's 3rd man. That's where Kecoughtan had the ball, but Hicks couldn't get there because another Kecoughtan player was in the way. Here's a typical Cobb move. Takes the ball from inside her circle and brings it all the way out to the 25, and would have continued with that ball had she not been fouled. And there's her free hit, which there's Giles flying down the middle of the field. Tobin has the ball on the right side, I'm sure. And look how quick she is, and a great hit just in front of the cage, out of the reach of Heather Stollard. But again, there's Heather Stollard, Flea, Giles, and Jennifer Tobin, and they're just so fast that these teams have trouble staying with them. And when you got somebody like Cobb who can hit those flat balls up into space and let them go get it, it's a huge advantage. It's been an exciting year.
That's really quite an advantage in particular, because in that run of 3 players down the field on what amounted to a breakaway, there was no Diana Golden, who was your leading scorer.
That's right. And again, we talked about how the defenders really have to get excited. They'll see Golden score 2 or 3 goals, and then we'll take her out, and they say, okay, good, here's this young kid Giles, and Christine just goes in and gets the job done just like Diana did. She's a year behind, so she's got little bit to work on, but speed and intensity and effort are there. Look at her. She'll just keep working. That's why I call her Fleet. It's a good example. Just continue to annoy until you get the ball, and now she's all the way up in the circle where she's supposed to be, and Hebert's going to try to find her, and she does right there. It's beautiful, absolutely beautiful. And again, that's a tough play. That stick isn't made for grass and a small ball. It's really made for turf. And that's the end of the game, Bob. And I'm sorry, the play-by-play for those of you watching wasn't particularly good today. It was difficult for us to see the numbers a little bit, but we discussed the game of hockey as much as we could, and we're excited to be here. We're excited that Channel 46 came out to do this game. Kecoughtan now goes to 5-0 in the district. 6-0 in the district, and Woodside will go to 4-2. There's trainer Robert Hatcher. He's a certified trainer, and he's at a sport like this for Kecoughtan. He teaches at Kecoughtan. It's so nice to have him. Generally, field hockey, you got to go find a trainer from a football field somewhere, but Hatcher was there the entire game, and he always is at home games, and we really, really appreciate it. And there's Coach Jennifer Tyson moving out of your screen to the left, and the victorious Warriors moving to shake hands. Whipple smiling, and here come that JV team. They rock. There's Jackie Sinclair, the JV keeper, and Katie O'Brien cheering them on. The JV and varsity work together very well. There's Kara Cudlock hauling way too much equipment for an assistant coach. That should be handled by the captains. We'll change that. Thank the officials today. Raj and Terry Gooding were the officials. And
it's
again,
a very well-played match, good sportsmanship on both sides, and both these teams are going to advance on to the district tournament and hopefully on to regionals and take down some Southside schools. Well, Scotty, it's been fun. I guess we're off.
Well, thank you, Bob. It has been fun.